In the winter of 1846, 87 people became trapped in the Sierra Nevada mountains with no food, no rescue, and no way out. By the time spring came, only 48 had survived. And the question that has haunted America for 180 years is not how they survived. It is what they had to do to get there. What you are about to hear is a story about ordinary people pushed to the absolute edge of what human beings are capable of. It is a story about desperation, sacrifice, and a choice so terrible that those who made it never spoke of it again. This is the Donner Party. It is the spring of 1846. America is in the grip of westward fever. Thousands of families are packing everything they own into covered wagons and heading toward California, a land of promise, sunshine, and new beginnings. Among them is George Donner, a wealthy 62-year-old farmer from Illinois. He has a wife, 5 children, and enough money to fund a proper expedition. He gathers a group of families, 87 people in total, and they set off from Independence, Missouri, in May 1846. They are optimistic, well-supplied, and fatally overconfident. In July, the group reaches Fort Bridger in present-day Wyoming. Here they face a choice: the established Oregon Trail, safe, tested, well-traveled, or a new shortcut called the Hastings Cutoff, recommended by a man named Lansford Hastings who claimed it would save 300 to 400 miles. Hastings had never actually led a wagon train through this route. The Donner Party chose the shortcut. It cost them everything. The Hastings Cutoff was a nightmare. The terrain was brutal: dense forest, a salt desert with no water, and mountain passes that no wagon had ever crossed. What Hastings promised would save weeks actually added a month to their journey. By the time they reached the Sierra Nevada mountains in late October, they were exhausted, hungry, and dangerously behind schedule. On October 28th, an early and savage winter storm hit the Sierra Nevada. The passes were already filling with snow. The group made desperate attempts to cross, but were turned back each time. And then, the snow came in earnest. Within days, they were buried. Snowdrifts reaching 20, 30, even 40 feet deep surrounded their makeshift camps near what is now called Donner Lake. They were trapped. They slaughtered their oxen first, then their horses and mules, then their dogs. They boiled hides and leather straps for soup. They ate twigs, bark, anything. The first death came in mid-November, then another and another. People who went to sleep did not wake up. By December, the survivors made a desperate decision. A group of 17, the strongest among them, would attempt to cross the mountains on foot and find help. They called themselves the Forlorn Hope. The Forlorn Hope set off into the wilderness with 6 days of rations. The journey took 33 days. Within days, the food was gone. Then the snowshoes fell apart. Then people began to die. On Christmas Eve, starving, frostbitten, delirious, the survivors faced the unthinkable. They ate the dead. Not everyone agreed. Some refused entirely. But those who did survive, 7 of the original 17, did so by consuming the flesh of those who had already perished. They made a pact. They would never eat anyone from their own family, and they would never kill anyone to eat them. They kept both promises. When the first survivors stumbled into a California settlement in January 1847, the outside world finally learned what had happened. 4 rescue parties were dispatched into the mountains. What they found at Donner Lake was beyond description. The camps were soaked in blood. Human bones lay scattered in the snow. Survivors were too weak to stand. The rescuers described the scene as the most horrifying thing they had ever witnessed. Of the 87 who set out, 48 survived. 39 perished from starvation, exposure, and exhaustion. The survivors spent the rest of their lives trying to escape what had happened. Some never spoke of it. Others were followed by the story for decades. Children who had been too young to understand what they had eaten grew up to be told the truth by strangers. One survivor, William Graves, said years later, "I have tried to forget, but some things cannot be forgotten. They follow you to your grave." The Donner Party is not a story about monsters. It is a story about human beings at the very edge of survival, making impossible choices in impossible circumstances. And before you judge what they did, ask yourself honestly, what would you do? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, stories that show what history really looked like, subscribe, because we are just getting started.